Imagine your old PC sitting quietly, collecting dust while you scroll through games you think it can't handle. But what if I told you that machine can run games so epic, so visually striking, and so immersive that you'd swear you were playing on high-end gear? Today, we're about to bust the myth that great gaming requires great hardware. These are the 10 most insane games that you won't believe run on low-end PCs. And trust me, number 6 will blow your mind. Each game will be explored in 2 parts. First, we dive deep into what makes it so fun and unique. And second, we uncover the hidden history, underrated brilliance, or how it unexpectedly rose to cult status. Some of these titles look like they belong on a PS5 or RTX 4080, but they're running beautifully on machines with basic specs. Ready to max out your fun without maxing out your hardware? Let's go! Set in the flying city of Colombia, Bioshock Infinite delivers stunning visuals, deeply emotional storytelling, and combat that's both brutal and beautiful. Despite its grand scale, the game runs shockingly well on lower-end systems. The art direction is so strong that even with reduced graphics, it still looks like a painting in motion. The skyhook system brings verticality and momentum that few FPS games capture so well. Released in 2013, Bioshock Infinite was built on Unreal Engine 3, which allowed amazing performance scaling. The game received over 85 Game of the Year awards and sold over 11 million copies. What made it so special wasn't just the gameplay, but its philosophical themes, emotional storytelling, and iconic characters like Elizabeth. It's still considered one of the most thought-provoking shooters ever. Dishonored is a stealth action masterpiece that lets you play your way. Go full ghost, sneaking past guards with powers like blink and possession, or unleash chaos with explosive traps and swordplay. Set in the hauntingly beautiful city of Dunwall, the game combines steampunk with dystopian grit, offering amazing immersion that doesn't require a high-end rig to experience. Developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda, Dishonored became a cult classic after its 2012 release. Built on the Source engine, it was optimized well for older PCs. It won Best Action Adventure Game at the 2012 VGAs and sparked a franchise known for deep world-building and freedom of play. The game still influences modern stealth titles today. This is a Western shooter with a twist, insanity, freedom, and fire. Far Cry 3 drops you into a tropical island warzone filled with chaos. Whether you're crafting syringes, hunting sharks, or burning fields of weed while Skrillex blasts in the background, it's an unforgettable experience. And yes, it runs well on older dual-core systems with 4 GB RAM, if settings are adjusted. Ubisoft released this game in 2012, and it changed the open-world FPS genre forever. VA's Montenegro became one of gaming's most iconic villains, with over 10 million copies sold and hundreds of awards. Far Cry 3 showed that even large open worlds could run decently on modest setups, if optimized right. The Sabotur blends noir storytelling with open-world rebellion in Nazi-occupied Paris. You play as an Irish race car driver-turned-resistance fighter, blowing up bridges and sniping Nazis in a city that transitions from black and white to color as you liberate it. Stylish, explosive, and surprisingly forgiving on old hardware. Released in 2009 by Pandemic Studios, The Sabotur was the studio's last title before being shut down. It didn't receive much marketing but gained cult status for its unique aesthetic and gameplay. It uses a modified Odin engine that was fairly efficient even for low-end systems at the time. Shadow of Mordor is what happens when Assassin's Creed meets Lord of the Rings. Fast-paced swordplay, stealth, and the groundbreaking Nemesis system, where enemies remember your actions. It's action-packed and filled with tension, yet can still run on older machines with the right tweaks. Released in 2014 by Monolith, this game introduced the revolutionary Nemesis system and won multiple Game of the Year awards. While the ultra textures were demanding, the base game ran well on mid-tier and even low-end PCs with settings adjusted. It became a surprise hit and proved innovation doesn't always need heavy specs. In Just Cause 2, you're dropped into a massive open world with a grappling hook, parachute, and a license for chaos. Blow up gas stations, hijack helicopters mid-air, and pull off insane stunts. It's pure sandbox madness and still manages to look wild on machines from the Windows 7 era. Avalanche Studios launched Just Cause 2 in 2010, and it became a sleeper hit due to its physics, freedom, and community-driven mods. Built on the Avalanche Engine 2.0, it scaled incredibly well on lower-end hardware, making it a favorite for budget gamers who wanted blockbuster destruction. The Darkness mixes comic book art with brutal, supernatural action. You dual-wield guns while demon arms rip enemies apart. It's fast, gritty, and stylish, with a unique cel-shaded visual design that's perfect for low-end systems. If you want story-driven carnage, this one delivers. Released in 2012, the game was developed by Digital Extremes and published by 2K. It built upon the cult hit The Darkness, using a custom engine to blend dark visuals and efficient performance. It's criminally underrated and deserves far more love, especially from low-spec gamers. Imagine GTA meets martial arts movies. Sleeping Dogs drops you into Hong Kong's gritty streets with tight combat, thrilling chases, and a gripping undercover cop story. The melee combat is a standout, like Arkham-style fighting in a gangster thriller. It runs surprisingly well, even on older GPUs. Released in 2012 by United Front Games and Square Enix, it became a sleeper hit after modest marketing. Built on a custom engine with good optimization, it runs on dual-core CPUs with basic graphics cards. The game is still praised for its atmosphere and action. This reboot redefined Lara Croft. You survive a brutal island, solve ancient puzzles, and take down enemies with stealth and bows. The cinematic moments are thrilling, yet the game's engine is so scalable that it runs well even on low-spec rigs. Crystal Dynamics used a modified version of the Crystal engine. Despite the game's realism and polish, its settings allow it to run well on older machines. It was a major success and laid the groundwork for the franchise's future. Over-the-top chaos, wild missions, and tons of customization. Saints Row: The Third is pure mayhem. It's like GTA on steroids, and even low-end PCs can join the insanity. Released in 2011, it was built on Volition's proprietary engine, optimized well for older PCs. The game became a cult classic and spawned an entire series of wild, open-world action games. At first, it seems like a standard third-person shooter, but keep playing and you're pulled into a dark psychological journey. Spec Ops: The Line is brutal, haunting, and deeply emotional. Jaeger Development created this gem using Unreal Engine 3, which made it scalable. It gained respect post-launch for its bold storytelling, despite initial commercial struggles. Post-apocalyptic survival in the Moscow metro, with its horror elements, scarce resources, and atmospheric lighting. Metro 2033 is tense and immersive. On low settings, it's still playable, especially the Redux version. Developed by 4A Games, the original was demanding, but Redux improved optimization. Based on the novel by Dmitry Glukovsky, it became a cult classic in the survival genre. First-person horror mixed with bullet-time gunfights, FEAR blends supernatural tension with tactical combat. Despite being released in 2005, its gameplay is so solid it still holds up and runs like butter on old machines. Developed by Monolith, FEAR used the Lithtech Jupiter X engine. It was ahead of its time in AI and horror storytelling. A benchmark title for PC shooters, you become Ezio Auditore, exploring Renaissance Italy with parkour, stealth kills, and epic storytelling. It's one of the most beloved entries in the franchise. Released in 2009 and optimized well for that generation, it ran great even on mid-range hardware. Its legacy continues to shape Ubisoft's open-world design. Space opera perfection. Build relationships, make hard choices, and fight with a mix of powers and gunplay. Mass Effect 2 blends RPG and action masterfully. Built on Unreal Engine 3 and released in 2010, it was praised for narrative depth. It's part of the legendary trilogy that defines sci-fi gaming. You're an engineer trapped in a space nightmare. Dead Space delivers jump scares, limb-targeting combat, and haunting silence. Even older rigs can run this horror gem. Released in 2008 by EA Redwood Shores, it used a modified Godfather engine. It became an iconic survival horror game that defined the genre. A writer trapped in a horror novel, Alan Wake mixes psychological horror with cinematic storytelling and flashlight-based combat. Its episodic format adds to the tension. Remedy Entertainment launched it in 2010 using a modified engine tailored for suspense and performance. It became a cult favorite and recently got a sequel. Solve crimes in